Hey y'all, welcome back for part 3. I think we might be able to do all the problems in this video. Interesting. I guess we'll see how that goes. But thank y'all for returning, clicking on this video. We're going to be doing our third part, picking up from 21, and just more ACT math problems. And this is where the difficulty starts to come, more so towards the end, but until now, I guess we're chilling. So just sit back, relax, grab a piece, paper, pencil, whatever, just get ready. Pause the video if you just want to shake your answer, whatever you want to do. It's your help, yo. Let's get started. Number 21. So this one says, in the figure below, A, B, C, and D lie on the circle centered at O. So actually, next one. Okay. So for 21, they're just asking y'all. Let's see, which of the following does not appear in the figure? So let's see what is not in the figure. An acute triangle. An acute triangle is anything less than 90 degrees, but this is an equilateral 60 degrees triangle. And how do we know that? Well, this is 60 degrees, and these are both 60 degrees as well. 60 times 3 is 180. So yeah, so we do have an equilateral triangle. An equilateral triangle is an acute triangle because the angle is less than 90 degrees. An equilateral triangle is also an isosceles triangle. We do have a right triangle because this makes it 90 degrees. So the only one that does not appear in the figure is E. Scalene triangle. So 21 is E. Okay, 22. Hold on to that one. What is the slope of a line in the standard xy coordinate plane that is parallel to x plus 5y equals 9? Alright. Parallel? I did this problem earlier. I didn't even saw that it said parallel. But I was looking because parallel means same slope. So same slope, or M. I don't know why we call M slope. I never wondered about that too much. Luckily it wasn't perpendicular. Perpendicular would just be the opposites, which is the negative and the reciprocal of that. But for this one, we don't have to worry about it. We have the equation 5y equals negative x plus 9. That's our equation. And I just moved the x to the other side. If you want the slope, we just get y by itself. We get negative 1/5 x plus 9. Negative 1/5 x plus 9. They're just asking us for the slope, right? I believe so, yeah. So it's just negative 1/5 g. Okay. Good. Let's move on to 23. 23 is an interesting one. It's funny to think about. It says given y equals x over x minus 1 and x is greater than 1, which of the following is a possible value of y? So we know x is positive and greater than 1. So this is positive and greater than 1, and this is positive and greater than negative 1. So you're positive on the top and positive on the bottom. Alright, so we have to get a positive answer choice. So we're ruling out A and B and C because we can't get 0. It's not possible. A numerator can't be 0. Just not happening. Yeah, and our denominator can't be 1 because x is greater than 1. That would make it undefined. It's either D or E, and the correct one, we'll have to think about it, okay? If is our numerator or denominator bigger? Well, if x is greater than 1, it's just has to be bigger, right? Let's say x is like 2 or something, 1.99999. The numerator will always be bigger, because if we do minus 1, it'll make the denominator smaller. So we'll have a bigger numerator, so it has to be E. It can't be a fraction. Okay? Yeah, it just can't be a fraction. So yeah, 23 is E. Hopefully these problems are starting to make more sense to y'all. Okay. I think we're doing good on time. I guess we can keep on going. And yeah, so just remember for 23, right? The denominator is smaller, which makes the number bigger overall, I guess. Yeah. Oh well. Alright, 24. The set of all positive integers that are divisible by both 15 and 35 is infinite. What is the least positive integer in this set? So, just see, 15, 35, they're 5 is too small, 50 is too small, 105 works. They're both factors. 24 is H. Alright. divided by both of them. 25. You have a triangle right here. What is the measure of angle C? And I think it says that angle A is 58 degrees and line AB is congruent to AC. So this line AB and this line. And sides correspond with angles, this side with this angle, this side with this angle. So C and B have the same measurement. So basically 2C is equal to 180 minus 58. So C equals 58, 68, 70, 80, 98, 108. And that's what? 180 minus 58. That's 122. And we divide that by 2, that gives us 61. 25 is D. Yes. Alright, 26. So this one says, let's see, about 1.48 times 10 to the power of 8 square kilometers of Earth's surface is land. The rest is water. If a returning space capsule lands at a random point, which long is the probability, best estimate that the probability the space capsule will land in water. Okay. So our denominator is how much total land is on Earth, first of all. We know Earth is mostly water, but what's the total then? So for this one, the denominator will be 1.48 plus 3.63, which is 5.11 times 10 to the power of 8. Alright, when you're multiplying, you can just add the bases, or these numbers together. 1.4 and 3.63. Our numerator will be the probability that it just, or how much land is water. 3.63 times 10 to the 8th. So essentially it's just this. 3.63 over 5.11. Which is 0.71. So 71%. Alright, 27. Okay, this one says, on the first 7 statistics test of the semester, Jamal scored 61, 76, 84, and 91. The mean median mode of his scores was 79, 80, and 80 respectively. On his 8 statistics test, Jamal scored 90. How did the mean median mode of all 8 of his scores compare to the mean median mode of his first 7 scores? So, how will it change basically is what it's asking us. If he scores a 90, 90 will be somewhere in here, and luckily it's in order for us. So the mean will definitely increase, right? Because the mean is the average, and we know the average is like 79. And since it's a lot more than the mean, it's going to increase. So we can allow answer choice A. The median, let's find that. Let's see. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and 1. If we add the 90 here, then let's see what will happen. Or actually, I should have done that. A 90 here, we'll cancel that out with a 76 here. These will cancel out. It will still be 80. So that is wrong. That is wrong. That is wrong. The median will be equal. What about the mode? Mode is just how many times does, or what number occurs the most, and 80 will still occur the most. So the mode will be equal. So 27 is E. Alright. 28. This one says, what does it say? A solid rectangular prism shown below was built by alternating with black cubes and white cubes, such as 2 cubes of the same color and must have one touching edge. What is the total number of white cubes that are used to build the prism? Let's find the, let's multiply the length with height for this thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 6. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7 times 6 times 5. So what is that? 210. 210. And we know that out of 210, x out of 210 is 0.5, is half of that. Because each half is one color. You divide that by 2, so x is 105. And actually the number of y cubes that there are, so is h. Okay, let's move along to 29. This one says one side of square ABCD. So I'll make a square best of my ability. I wonder if I should use a line tool instead. How would that fare? It just takes longer though. There, that's horrible square. I could honestly draw something closer to that. Good enough, but better. ABCD, I'm not going to label that. Has a length of 12 meters. We'll say this one does. A certain rectangle whose area is equal to the area of ABCD. So I'll make a rectangle now. Has a width of 8 meters. The width is 8. So we'll say this is 8. Yeah, it's not fit. It's not to scale, y'all. What is the length of this rectangle? So same area. Well, we know this is 12. This is 12. This has an area of 144 square meters. So does this one. And the units are the same, right? Okay, good. It's not a unit conversion problem. 144 over 8 is 18. So 29 should be C. Okay. Good. 30. Hey. Look at that. I'm gonna have to scroll down for this one. An average list of numbers. The average of list of 4 numbers is 92. So think 1, 2, 3, 4. Whatever these numbers are, we get a 92 average. 92 average. But the 4th number in the original list is 40. And then we're saying that, and we're making a new list where the new number is 48. What is the average of this new list of numbers? Well, let's find the total. It'll be 92. 92 times 4, and then just do plus 8s. And we're doing this because 92 times 4 gives us the sum. You could do minus 40 plus 48, but the net change will be plus 8 to the last number, right? And then divide that all by 4. So 92 times 4 plus 8 divided by 4, that gives us 194. I believe so. And would you look at that? It increases by, or the average of the new list of numbers is H, 94. Okay. I think now we're halfway done. So this is somewhere where the problems start to get a bit more interesting, because that's literally the first half of the test. Again, not too terrible. I should say. It's really just a matter of, I guess, doing the problems, getting the practice that you'll need, and then just doing better, I guess. Just be better. Be better than everyone else. So, these problems aren't hard. And I know y'all can do this. I know y'all can do this. Like this prism one. This prism one was definitely something. But it wasn't that bad, in my opinion. If you just knew, okay, so if I do like length times base times height of a prism, then that'll give me the volume. And then I guess you could use that information. I guess. I mean, it really depends how you see the problem, how you read it, how you understand it. It all comes down to all that stuff. Okay. I honestly don't know much else to say about that. Okay. No, that's that. Because I think 28 just has one. Anyway, that's fine. Let's move on. Let's keep going. We got time. 31. Vector I represents 1 mile per hour east, and vector J represents 1 mile per hour north. So this one says, okay, Maria is jogging south at 12 miles per hour, One of the following vectors represents a velocity. Which one? You don't need to know physics for this problem. So she's going south at 12. So that's something to do with 12. And we all know that, okay. So east is I, and north is J. She's going, yeah, we know this is north, we know this is east. She's going down 12. Which direction? So there's something to do with the north-south, right? And it says she's jogging south at 12 miles per hour, so this has to be 12J. But she's going south, so it's next. B. Alright. 32. You don't need to be a chemist for this problem. 4 identical glasses are shown below. One glass is empty, the other 3 glasses are 1/4 full, 1/2 full, 4/5 full. If the water glasses were distributed equally, what fractional part would be filled? So, let me get out this is find a common denominator. This is 0. Common denominator is what, 20? Looks like it. So 1/4, that would be 5 out of 20. 1/2 would be 10 out of 20. And 4/5 would be, let's see here, multiplied by 4, so 16 out of 20. Okay. So what's our sum? 5 plus 10 is 15. 15 plus 16 is 31. So it's 31 out of 20. And then we're dividing that by 4. So multiply that by 1/4. That's 31 out of 80. Sorry, sir. K. 32 is K. Alright. 33. Aurelio was purchasing carpet tiles to cover an area of his living room that is 8 1/3 feet wide by 10 feet long. Each carpet is 20 square inches wide by 20 inches long. What is the minimum number of carpet tile that Aurelio must purchase to cover his area of his living room floor? So, just area. It's just an area problem. And just find the number of carpet tiles he needs. So, one thing you gotta do first is you have to find the area. But before we do that, we have to do the unit conversion first. Don't find the area and then do the unit conversion, because you're doing feet squared and then converting to inches squared. It just doesn't work like that. You gotta convert feet to inches. So if this is what? This is like 8 and 1/3. Almost like 8 and 1/3. And then we gotta multiply. We're gonna take 8 and 1/3. Or actually, what is 8 and 1/3? 25 by 3. 25 by 3. We'll multiply that by 1 inches multiplied by 6. Alright. I believe that's what I have to do. B2, not 6, my bad. Taking time for a second. Multiply that by 12. There we go. So this is 4. 25 times 4 is 100. And then times 10 times 12 is 120. And then just divide that by 20 by 20, 20 squared. So 100 times 120 divided by 20 squared is 30. So 33 is D. Okay. 34. Easy problem. In the standard XY coordinate plane, a circle with the center at 85 has a radius of 9 coordinate units. Which of the following equations? Equation of a circle, y'all, is x minus h the whole squared plus y minus k the whole squared equals r squared. Which one is like that one? Well, we should get minuses on both sides, and our radius should be 81. 34 is F. Alright. 35. Many humans carry the YQ77 gene. The YQ test determines with 100% accuracy whether a human carries the YQ77. If a YQ test result is positive, the human carries the YQ77 gene. The YQ test result is negative. The human does not carry the YQ77. SAM designed a test less expensive for YQ77 called the SAM77 test. It produces some incorrect results. So SAM77 test might be incorrect sometimes, but the YQ77 test is always correct. So to determine the accuracy of the test for SAM77, both tests were administered and then we got the results. It costs $2,500 to administer each YQ test. We also administer each SAM77 test. Those will cost to administer both tests. Okay. So the total price will be, let's see, if you have 1,000 volunteers. So for them to get the YQ77 test, it costs $2,500. For the 1,000 people to get the SAM77 test, it costs them only $58, which is a lot cheaper, so much cheaper, y'all. Interesting. And then you just do the math. Use that on a calculator. So let's see. 1,000 times 2500 plus 1,000 times 50 should be answer choice E. Let me play on the calculator. Alright, so 35 is E. Yes. 36. What percent of volunteers actually carry the YQ77? So, how many people carry it? Well, we have 1,000 volunteers in total, as said. How many carry it? Well, first you have to go to this table. We're looking at the YQ77 table, and how many have it? They're in the positive for the YQ77 test. And these people also, these 25, they're also in the positive. So everyone in this table has it. So the SAM77 test said that yes, these 590 have it, but they forgot the other 25 people. So it's 590 plus 25 people. The 25 people were the incorrect result part, 615. You don't even need to do any math. You'll already know that, okay, if we can divide by 1,000, convert to a percentage, you'll just take 615 and then just put a decimal right there. 36 is J. Alright. Okay. 37. For how many volunteers did SAM77 test give an incorrect result? Incorrect results. You have to look at the table for that. Alright. So, how many people got an incorrect result? I was asking overall, right? Yeah. So, these people, right, where it said positive but Sam said negative, a few people here. And in the negative, Sam said negative, but they got positive for 10 people. So that's 35 people out of 1,000. It's just asking how many volunteers in total. So the answer is C. Okay. 38. One of the volunteers whose SAM77 test result was positive will be chosen at random. To the nearest 0.001, what is the probability the chosen volunteer does not possess it? Okay. So SAM77 says it's positive, but they don't actually have the gene. Alright. So, let's see. So how many people for SAM77 said it was positive? We're looking in this table now. We're looking at the positive side. Alright. So SAM77 said that these people are positive. So that's 600. But 10 people don't have it. Alright, so it's 10 out of 600. And 10 out of... Is it 10 out of 600? Let me check. So they were positive, but they had a negative IQ. So 590 plus 10. And... okay. So these 600 people said that they have it, but 10 people actually don't have it. So it's 10 out of 600. 10 out of 600. 10 out of 600, or 1 out of 60. I think that's about what, 0.016 repeating, right? Something like that. 66666. And that just says 7. So that's about F. Okay. I think we're rocking this now, y'all. Ooh, matrices, matrix, 2D arrays, whatever y'all want to call them. Just multiply this. -1 times -2. It's 2. And then multiply this. Right? Well, if you think about it, actually, no. I think how it works is it's this with this, a 2, plus this with this, right? Which is 0. So that equals 2. Or you can do this on a calculator. You can make two matrices. You can make a matrix A, which is a 1 by 2, and then you can make another matrix, which is a 2 by 1, and then just multiply both matrices together. And that'll give you 2. D. Alright. Number 4. Actually, enough room to do that. Y'all can see that problem. So I'll just do it here. Regardless, no, I lost my pen. Never mind, I still have it. Regardless of how the graph is oriented in standard x coordinate plane, no graph of the following categories has a vertical symmetry. Well, if you draw a line, everyone to the best of my abilities, you can make a vertical line of symmetry. You can do that for the square, right? 4 sides. You can do it for pentagon. You can do it for parallelogram, somewhat diamond shape, but you can't do it for scalene triangle. All the side lengths are different. It's a weird little triangle thing. You can't do anything about it. It's a lost cause. So yeah, 40 is K. Alright. 20 more problems to left. Let's keep it rolling. Ooh, I love this question. The equation has 2 solutions. What is the greater of the 2 solutions? A couple different options. You can graph this, you can not graph this, you can do this by hand. So let's see what works for us. I'll make this one equation, so I'll rewrite it as 24x squared plus 2x minus 15. And if you want to factor this, you'll end up looking for factors of 24 times 15, which add up to positive 2. 24 times negative 15, that is. Something like that. Negative 360. Factors of negative 360. Factors of negative 360. Alright. And you could look for that as long as I wanted to. Alright, let's see what works, I guess. But let's see. So I think if you get on to 18 or negative 20, you'll find it. 24x squared plus 20x minus 18 minus 15. And then you could bring these together. Sorry, I should have it 18x. So this highest common factor would be 4x 4x times 6x plus 5. Okay. And then minus, you could take a 3x or a 3 times x. So that would be 6x. Yeah, this would be 6x plus 5. 6x plus 5. Okay. Yeah, that works. And then we can say that these are our common factors. So it's 4x minus 3. The other one's going to be negative. So we could say 4x equals 3. X is 3/4. So it's A. Okay. That's one way of doing it. Another way is just graph this on a calculator. Type in 24x squared plus 20x, or not 20x, plus 2x minus 15. Then hit graph. And then do second trace. And then type in 0 and then you move to the 0, and then hit enter, or whatever, something like that. But yeah, I mean, if you know it, you know it. 24x squared stuff. Oh yeah, so 41 is A. Alright, 42. I think this is this is a trig identity, alright? I don't know if y'all are awesome at your trig identities or not, but yeah, when you get into pre-calc calculus, then it honestly depends. Just how much y'all know, I guess. But either way, there's just a lot of just trig rules to remember, and I believe this is the equation for, let's see, we got sine, we got cos, and it's plus. This is the equation of sine A plus B. Sine A plus B. This is a trig identity. Sine A plus B. And that's the equation for sine A plus B, where sine A plus B is the same thing as sine A cos B. Sine A, so this is A cos B. This is our B plus cos A sine B, or whatever you want. So in the end, it's sine 90 or sine 60 plus 30. It's J. Okay, that's one way of doing this problem. Another way could be to evaluate the whole expression. You could type it in your calculator, do it by hand. Sine 60 is the same thing as the square root of 3 over 2 and times another root 3 over 2 plus sine 30 and cos 60 are the same thing. It's a half times a half, which is 1/4. So it's 3 over 2, or actually, is it? Let's see, so that's 3, or no, it's root 3 over 2. So, yeah, it's root 3 over 2 squared plus 1/4. So it's 3/4 plus 1/4, which is also J. So you can think of it like that as well. Okay. Moving along to 43. What is the area in square units of a circle that has a circumference of 12 pi units long? So remember, circumference is 2 pi r. Just a basic geometry equation you should know. So total divided by 2 is 6. So our radius is 6. And our area is pi r squared. So that's 36 pi. That's what they're asking for anyway. So there we go. 43 is done. A couple more left. Okay, 44. A barrel contains 25 liters of a solvent mixture that is 40% solvent and 60% water. Lee will add pure solvent to the barrel without removing any of the mixture currently in the barrel. So the new mixture will be 50% solvent, 50% water. How many new liters should he add? Alright, I'll make this plain and simple. How much solvent does he currently have? So the solvent he currently has is 25 times 0.4. So 25 times 4 is 100, but then there's a point, so that's 10. So you can think like this. You're going to take 10, and then to that is going to add x. It's going to do 10 plus x. And 50% of that is going to equal so 10 plus x, 50% of that. Or wait, let me rephrase that. 10 plus x, that is going to add, time is equal to 25 plus x times 0.5. Right? Because he has, how many liters of solvent? He has 10 liters of solvent, and then he's going to add x liters, right? And that's going to be the total number of liters, 25 plus how much additional he's going to add, 50% of that. So, when we simplify this, we're going to get 10 plus x equals 25 times 0.5 is 12.5. 12.5 plus 0.5x plus 0.5x. Okay, and then just moving stuff around. If you bring the 0.5 to this side, we're gonna have the 0.5x on the left side. If we subtract my 0.5x on both sides, and that's gonna be equal to 2.5. So then it's just 2.5 divided by 0.5, which is 5. So x equals 5, which is how many liters we need to add. Okay, 15 is how many we'll need, but 5 is how many we need to add. G is 44. Okay, 45. For all x is not equal to plus or minus y, what is this? Well, what's our common denominator going to be? Well, we're going to take x, and multiply that by x minus y, and we're going to take y plus y, and we're going to multiply that by this denominator, x plus y. And at the bottom, it's going to be x plus y times x minus y, which is x squared minus y squared. So that simplifies to x squared minus xy. Oh wait, I just realized something. This is the top is also just x plus y times x minus y. Not sort of. Is it? Well, so we have x minus y here. Well, whatever. Because it's gonna be x squared. Oh, I see. It's gonna be x squared minus xy. Here, let me do that. Minus xy plus y squared plus xy. And what will happen is these will get cancelled. So we'll be left with x squared plus y squared over x squared minus y squared. Yeah, I think that's the furthest we could simplify this. Not too much else is left. So as soon as you saw x squared minus y squared, just pick e. That's exactly what we're looking for. 46. Ooh, Mary, James, and Carlos sold 1/4 page advertisements for the school yearbook. I don't think this 1/4 even matters because they're not telling us how many page advertisements there are. And it's talking about Carlos anyway. So Mary, I'll use M. Mary sold twice as many as Carlos, so 2C. James sold 3 times as many as Mary did. There's only these 3 people, right? And of course Carlos will be C. C equals C. Am I still happy? So we all want this in terms of one variable, right? So I'm going to substitute it in. So James is 3 times Mary, which is 2C. So that's equals to 6C. So how many total advertisements are there? Well, there's 2C, because we know it's M plus J plus C, and that's equal to 2C plus 6C plus C, which is 7C. Or is it? No, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? 2 plus 6 plus 1. Yeah, that's 9. 9C. So that's C, that's 9C, that's the 1/9. F is 46. Okay, 47. In a window display at the flower shop, there are 3 spots for each one plant. So only 3 spots. We'll call it spot A, spot B, spot C. Alright, and it says, what does it say? It says that, Emily has 6 plants to choose from, do different type, and we can make how many possible. So this is a permutation. If you take stats, you can learn that you can just do 6 P3. It's a permutation. On your calculator, so type in 6, hit math, go to the probability, then hit the 2 key for permutation, and then type in 3. So it's 6P3. It just says that, I think one thing interesting one says the position of the unselected planes don't matter, which I guess is true. The unselected planes don't matter. For that, it's a combination. But this overall problem is a permutation. It is a permutation problem. So you don't need to remember the equation for permutation. That'll just take extra time. Just knowing that it's a permutation is good enough. So yeah, or you could just use 6 times 5 times 4. That's another solving this problem. Alright, you see the same thing. 47 is D. Alright, scrolling down to the next page. Okay, so this one says use the following information to answer questions 48 through 50. The quadratic function f and triangle MPQ are graphed in the standard x-ray coordinate plane below. Points M, N, and P are on F. Point Q is not on F. In terms of A and B, what is the area of this triangle MPQ? So, the equation for area of a triangle is half the base times the height, which we can use. This distance, well, it's a distance from 2A to 6A. That's a 4A distance right here. That's our base. Our height is how high this is. This y value. This is 5B right here. So you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 1/2 times 4A is 5B. So that's 10A B. It's G. Okay. 49. Point M will remain fixed. Point Q continues to move to the right along the x-axis. As Q continues to move to the right, which of the following statements describes what will happen to the slope of MQ? This is a very interesting question. So first I'll realize, is MQ a positive or negative slope? It's a negative slope, because a positive slope is like this and a negative slope is like this. So yeah, it's a negative slope. Okay. And so if this has a negative slope, well, what does this mean? Well, you can calculate the slope right here, but we all know that usually what's going to happen is it's rise over run, right? Our run is going to increase as Q moves to the right, right? Q is going farther and farther away. So this is increasing, and this is decreasing. So you may think that, okay, well, if our denominator is decreasing, then, our denominator is increasing, right? Because it's all about the run. If the run is increasing, which it is, the denominator will increase, which will make the slope decrease. But you have to realize that since it's a negative slope, we're going from something like negative 0.6 to negative 0.3. Okay. Wait. Yeah. Even though we all know that, okay, 0.6 it's greater than 0.3, but you have to realize the slope is increasing because we're going from like something like negative 0.6 negative 0.3. So the slope is increasing and it's staying negative. So just remember that, okay? It will increase, but it'll never be positive. Because all the other instances are actually wrong. We can obviously cancel out C. This one says that it will eventually be negative. It's already negative. It will never be negative. It's already negative. It'll eventually be positive. Won't ever be positive. So yeah, that's just the verification for showing it'll increase. Even if you're not sure if it's increasing or decreasing, you can use the other context clues to tell you that it'll always be negative, which goes along with D. I mean, C is wrong because it won't stay the same. Okay, so that's kind of how you can do that problem. 250. One of the following values equal to f of 5a. Which one? Let's go to the graph and find 5a. 5a. So 5a would be right here. And here's the graph f. This lies right along at 8b. Which one says 8b? This one says 8b. 50 is k. Alright. 10 more to go. 51. 12 jurors are needed for an upcoming trial. The diagram below illustrates a part of the process of jury selection. The 12 jurors will be selected from a jury pool of about 60 people. The court records show the trend that only 40% of people who are summoned for jury duty actually appear, and that of appear 1/3 are excused. Different continues. So 60 people are in this jury pool. Then it says that 40% of people who are summoned, only those appear. So appear is 0.4, don't appear is 0.6, and then it says that 1/3 are excused. So that means 2/3 go to the jury pool. So this is 2/3 of the appeared. So the sum in is what it's asking for. This is a bit of backward solving. Will be 60 times. You could do 60 times. You could either do 60 divided by 2/3 or 60 times 3/2, whatever you want. Because you know how we multiplied by 2/3 to get here, we're gonna do the opposite. And then, again, you could either do divided by 0.4 or you could do times 10/4. Whatever you want to do. So 60 times 3 times 10 divided by 8 is 225. It's 225. Alright. D. And you can double check that. Do 225 times 0.4 times 2/3. And that should be 60. Alright. Let's go to the next one. 52. What is the 275th digit after the decimal point and the repeating decimal? Some of you guys might think like this. Okay, well, 275. Let's say we divided it by 5. It ran for 5 times. Or 275 like by 55. And then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. Well, here that's what you're supposed to do. Let's say you do 275. And then divide by the number of repeating digits. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. So do 275 divided by 4. That's 68.75. So this thing is gonna go 68.75 complete times. So we're gonna get 6295 for 78 times. And then the 3/4 is gonna mean that, okay, so we're done, right? For 68 times. And then we're going to our 69th one, but we don't make a complete one. It's 0.75. 0.75 is equal to 3/4. 3/4. And luckily we do have a 4-digit number only. This is 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. If we reached the 5, it would have been a complete 69 times, but we went 1, 2, 3, we stop here. So the 275th digit would be the 9. So 52 is K. Alright. 53. You'll have enough space to see it, or should I scroll down? I shall scroll down only so I can get more space to do the problem. There we go. Alright, 53 says, given that f of x is x squared minus 4 and g of x is x plus 3, what are all the values for which f of g of x equals 0? We're going to take g of x equation, we're going to plug into the f of x equation. That's asking for f of g of x, not g of f of x. So, this equation right here, we're going to take g of x, square that, I'm going to do minus 4. So we're going to take x plus 3, square that, I'm going to do minus 4. And that equals 0. So, x plus 3 squared equals 4. So, x plus 3 equals plus or minus 2. Alright, so if x plus 3 equals 2, then x would be 2 minus 3, which is negative 1. So negative 1 is a possibility. And if x equals negative 2, it would be negative 2 minus 3, right? Yeah. So that would be negative 5. Negative 1, negative 5. That's A. For 53. Alright, 54. Next, it says that given that p is a positive number, I'll write a plus here. And as a negative number, I'll write a negative here. And the absolute value of p is greater than n. So p is something like, let's p something like 2. N could be something like negative 1. Just pointing out some possibilities. And then it says, and we know this is true because the absolute value of p is greater than the absolute value of n. So that works out perfectly good for us. Which of the following expression has the greatest value? Now remember, these are all absolute values, so anything is honestly possible. So one question is, do we want a denominator of p or a denominator of n? Well, if you want a good greater value, we want a really small denominator. Okay? And it says that the absolute value of p is greater than the absolute value of n. So we want a greater You basically want a greater denominator, or you want a smaller denominator. Alright. So, yeah. We want a denominator of n. So, yeah. What about p minus n? Well, p minus n is going to make it larger. So, I'm going to eliminate this one. We want a denominator of n. Now, do we want p minus n or p plus n on the top? Think about this. If we do 2 plus negative 1, then that's 2. Or sorry, that's 1. But if we do 2 minus negative 1, that's 3. So obviously we want to do p minus n, right? What do you want that? Yeah, I guess. So 54 is g. Okay? So yeah, it'll be a negative number only because we know n is a negative number, but since we take absolute value, it'll probably be something like 2 over negative 1, which will leave us 2. Okay? That works out. Well, for us, 55. 55. If you know your imaginary numbers, this is an easy problem. I, for one, love imaginary numbers. I think I learned it like once in algebra 2. Honestly, I remember pretty much everything. It's my favorite algebra. And if I was taught it once, I still remember it to this day. So we have I plus I squared plus I cubed all over I cubed plus I to the power 4 plus I to the power 5. Just remember I is the square root of negative 1, but you can definitely leave your answer in terms of I, and it works out perfect for this problem. So just remember, I to the power of 1 is I to the power of 2. Well, then imagine if you're squaring this, the square root of negative 1. Imagine you square the square root of negative 1. Anytime you take a square, something the negative comes out. It becomes negative 1. And I is an imaginary number. Of course, you can have the square root of a negative number, technically, I guess. I cubed is negative I. And I to the power of 4 is 1. I to the power of 5, you may ask? That goes back to I. And then the pattern repeats. I to the power of 1, and then the pattern repeats from there. So, well, that's all this problem. So I'll just leave I on the top, plus I squared. Well, I squared we said is negative 1, plus I cubed. I'll just do minus I, because that's the same thing, so these can cancel. So we're left with negative 1 on the top. On the bottom, we have I cubed, which I'll just write up what the actual value is. I cubed is negative I plus 1, and then plus I to the power of 5 is the positive I. Okay? Because I to the 5 is the same as I, which I said earlier. So these cancel. We're left with negative 1 over 1, which is negative 1, which is B. Alright. I like how there are like 3's here. Like, if you see 3's, you can't even have 2. Anytime you see an imaginary number, it has to be like negative 1 or 1 or something. So, if you're not sure, just look out for something like that. No D is wrong. Okay? So, yeah. 56. Okay, inequality. Something not really my favorite, but they're not too bad. What article can we do? I have 2 equations, integers, and which one shows all of them. I don't really can't see option H that well, so I'll scroll down a little bit. Let you scroll up until scroll down about till here. Yeah. So this way we can all see the problem well. Alright. So let's take a look at this. Yeah, this equation here. My pencil set. No, I do. Yeah, this equation here. I want to rewrite this equation. Is 2y is less than or equal to negative x plus 6. Alright. And then we'll divide by 2 on both sides. We're not dividing by a negative number, okay? The sign won't change, alright? Sign only changes, if you're really confused, remember, the sign only changes if you're multiplying or dividing by a negative number, which we're not. We're only dividing by a positive 2, so the sign won't change. Remember that, okay? Something I have to be clear. Yes, our slope will still be negative, but the sign won't change. So we'll still end up with y is less than or equal to negative 1/2 x plus 3. That isn't changing anything. And this is the equation of what? A circle. You could actually graph this, you know? You could bring the 12 to this side and then just make a positive or something, in which case the sign would change. But if you don't want to do that, that's perfectly fine. You can think of it as the equation of a circle. just an inequality though. 3x squared plus 3y squared is less than 12. You divide by 3 on both sides. Left with x squared plus y squared is less than 4. Remember, so if someone asks you what is the radius, already here, the radius of the circle is the square root of 4, which is 2. The radius is 2. Alright. Yeah. Let's say we plug in 2 to this equation. We'll have like -1 or 2 for x. We'll have -1 plus 3, which is 2. I don't know what we really do with that information. 2 is the point? Yeah, I guess. But yeah. So first of all, which graph is it? We want to look for a line for our normal linear equation with a -1/2 slope going down, and it's a solid line. Eliminate G, eliminate J. This one is shaded on the top. We do not need that. Eliminate that one. So we're down to what, F or K? The circle will not touch this equation or this line, because think about it at this point. At this point, the circle is saying that, well, the radius is only 2, y'all. This is going like beyond that. No, it shouldn't happen. Never should happen. Okay. Yeah. And the radius is only 2. I think this one is saying that, okay, when it's 0, we'll cross it. Well, when it's 0, it'll only go up to 2. If you plug in 0 for the line, it'll be at 3. So this is 0, 3. It shouldn't cross it. It's K. Alright. 0, 3 is a point. This is 0, 2. So this is 0, 2. This is 0, 3. Alright. The circle should be below the line. Just remember that. Okay, good. Alright. 57. We're almost done, y'all. Yay. Okay. So this one says, let A, B, C, and D be real numbers. Given that AC equals 1, B plus C is over D is undefined, and A, B, C equals D, which of the following must be true? So for this one, well, we know D equals 0. Okay, which must be true. And if D equals 0, and we know AC equals 1, then B has to be 0. This doesn't make sense. This doesn't have to be necessarily true. This doesn't have to be true. It's this one. Alright. Yeah. Okay. Maybe this has to be true. 57 is D. I think that's a good stopping point for right now. I guess I'll see y'all in part 4. We'll do the last couple of problems. See y'all then.